want to do this video, see if I can help out anybody that's trying to hook up the Diatone 218 GT R90 to the Spektrum. I kept trying to do some research out there, and they said you had to bridge something to get 3 volts, but no one had another video of the updated. I'm guessing since all those videos, like the Grayson guys have done some on this little quad, and no one has done, I guess, an updated one. I don't know. I could not find it. Anyway, what they've done in the update is they have added a 3.3 volts, so you do not have to bridge anything, and that's where I kept looking for, trying to find the bridging. So if you look on the diagram, what they've done, this is the standard wire that's hooked up for some receiver, I don't know. I'm going to be doing Spektrum, so these will not matter here. Now, what it is, the third one over here next to this one, this is a 5 volt, this is ground, 5 volts. The next one over here is 3.3 volts, so this will run your Spektrum satellite. So I'm going to be using the third one over, and then the, what is that, the 5th one over where the ground is, just basically removing and replacing for the powering of my satellite. And then you will be using, from what I found now, if this works I hope, is the RX6, which is right over here, right next to the battery voltage plugs. It's a third one over from this side. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be hooking up. I just couldn't find anything else out there. Now, what I'm going to be using as a receiver is this Redcon. There it is. There's a sticker from it. But what I've done is it's underneath here. So I figured out where I want to place this little guy. I'm going to get it hooked up and test everything, and it does have, I think, a bind button right there, so I'll get that bound when I power it up. Anyway, I figured out I'm going to put it all the way up underneath. They have changed these a little bit, so the screws go all the way up through the plate. They don't have that, I don't know, some advertising, some anti-vibration little plastic doohickey that they did. This just has stacks of washers up long screws, and then it has the vibration plate right here. So I'm going to hook mine to the bottom. And here is my wire. It's going to be right down below. I could find room there, and then I will do all my wiring right over here, soldering, and make this where it has slack so the vibration plate still kind of works, anti-vibration. But I just wanted to get this video out there because I couldn't find one. Maybe there is one, I don't know, but this is the latest one and how to hook this up to it. And again, I'm not a professional. I've just been messing with quads and try to figure this stuff out. So there's my video transmitter, which I moved, which will be on the top in here. And that's it. I'll add in, once I get this soldered on, I'll do the next little video, and I'll try to mix all these points together. Alright, so here it is wired up. I want to see if you can see it there. So I've got the third one over right here for the power, and then the 5th one over I got for my ground, and I soldered them in this direction so they're not sticking out over here. And then the RX6, which is right over here, which is the first small one, but the third one over from that side. And we'll see. I'm going to try to get the satellite right down here below, and the next is I'm going to get it mounted and plug it up. And I did check once I got everything soldered. I checked for my voltage here, make sure that it is correct as 3.3, because you will blow these satellites if you are on a 5. Anyway, I will go to kind of connecting it up and the next step, mounting. Alright, back again here. Now I want to show you, I've got things mounted back up on here, but I want to show you where I put my satellite. I tried to put the plug on this end, but it's very difficult spacing underneath the stack. So what I ended up doing was turning it sideways and getting the antenna. You can see the antenna coming out right there, but it's kind of hard to focus, but you can see that the receiver is right here on the very bottom. I taped it to the frame, so it's kind of floating below the stack. Of course, the only one with vibration dampening is the flight control board, but it's on the bottom of the stack. I'm going to turn it around, so I've got the wires hooked in. They're going underneath here, and then they are connected right right there on, these things are so tiny, trying to get all this stuff to fit, but it's right there. There's my plug. Let me see if I can get a better close up. There it is on the very bottom of the stack there. There's the plug, the gray, red, and black wire. Taped to the frame and ran the wires up underneath the video transmitter there plate, basically the mounting plate that it's mounted on, and it wires into the other side. Then I got my antenna and turned it sideways, and it comes out right in the very back. That'll be away from the props because the antenna on these just turn and pivot. You can see it right there, a little gold thing on the bottom. Anyway, it turns and pivots and will be sticking out the back. Should be completely clean, and I wanted it on this side, over here on this side, because I'm got my video transmitter that's going to be running on the opposite side, and try to keep this, if anything's a little cleaner or whatever from the signal. But that's about it. Now I'm going to go into continue mounting up, finish putting on my, I've already done the binding. The binding was very simple on this receiver. I basically, once it's all connected into the board, it has a button on it for binding, and hold the button, plug in the battery, and it blinked no problem. Turned on my transmitter, got it to bind, and everything connected up and binded up DSMX. So now I'll get everything mounted back on. This is the video, the camera, be connected into the camera here. But that's basically about it, and then it goes into the settings of beta flight and stuff like that. So on to the next phase. Alright, so I've got things mounted up. I haven't plugged it into the computer yet to do check the settings and everything else, but just wanted to show you how I got everything mounted up. Got my plug back here, the battery plug. I kind of used the zip ties and zipped it onto the white brace that's on the back. And I like that the plug is kind of underneath here. And then I will simply just take my battery in plug and plug it in there so it's not flopping all over the place anywhere. We'll see how that works. Taped up my balance plug, and that'll be clearly out of the props. Here is my receiver. Underneath, the antenna comes right out the back. Props will be clear up here on the top. So hopefully that will be out of there as well. I could stiffen that up if I wanted to, if that mattered. Video, I just stuck it on the inside of the frame here and kind of have it up a little bit up on the video transmitter instead of on the outside. I don't know. We'll see how that signal works for me. I just didn't want to get it up where it's going to get hit or on the side over here. They had it mounted on the side. I put it up in between the framing for protection. And then since I put my receiver on the bottom of the plate down here, I can't put my Velcro through to Velcro around the battery, but that's okay. There's many other options, and one is the rubber bands they send. It's pretty nice and simple. You can just easily pull it up and over, as well as I added Velcro to the bottom, so even if I took this rubber band off, it would probably stay right there. But I put Velcro there so it can't spin. Definitely isn't going to move anywhere with one little rubber band over the top of it, making it pretty simple. Anyway, there's the setup. Now on to plugging it in. I've already done the bind, so I've got a connection with the receiver, but I need to change the settings in there for Spektrum and all of that jazz. Anyway, on to that one, and then check out and see how it flies.